Hey Matt, can you describe the vibe of the team, not just with the fans, but within the organization in terms of the new ownership that's come in and how it's different from the old
Well,
guard?
I think that let's see. I think that everybody's pretty excited about the ownership change. Chris Cohan was ripped around here, and probably rightfully so. But for the most part, the players didn't despise him. He wasn't really around that much. He wasn't a day-to-day factor in terms of what the players did, and they got their paychecks on time, and they didn't really deal with him. So even though the community looked at Chris Cohan in a certain way, the players probably had little to no opinion of him. Um, Now they get Joe Lacob in there, who's very visible, who's got a big personality, and I think they're. I don't think they're like woohoo, we're in good shape now. I think they're measuring Lacob, because see these guys aren't dumb. I mean they play in the league and they pay attention to the league, and they know there's a difference between Mark Cuban and Jerry Buss and Paul Allen. And so I think they're waiting to see what this guy's going to be like, even though, and they're starting to get a feeling for it from last year when he sat courtside and he'd, try to, sneak in a high five with a player now and then to some success. So they know he's going to be, they know he's going to be a factor, but I think they're figuring out how much he's going to interject himself.
Let's pretend that the lockout ends Sunday and we've got basically a month from Sunday to get everything for the first game of the season taken care of. Does that hurt a team like the Warriors with new ownership in terms of changing the culture of the lovable loser into a team headed in the
Um,
absolute right direction?
well, are you talking about in terms of like a shortened training camp and maybe a shortened season, or just in terms of the moves they have to make?
Well, mainly the shortened training camp and getting to know the new parts of the organization, both in the front office, the coaching, and
Well,
whatever players they bring in.
I'm a little more pessimistic about this lockout theoretically ending this weekend. Um, in fact, I'm going to change the subject real quick, because here's what I think about that, and then I'll get back to the Warriors. You know,
Okay.
what I found most, everybody last night came out of the press conferences and at 4 a.m. feeling somewhat optimistic as if progress had been made, and I'm sure some progress had been made. But what alarmed me most, and what I took as a terrible sign, is that they are clearly still thinking about an 82 game season. That's what they want to do. So if there's a mindset among the owners and players that there's still a possibility of an 82 game season, then guess what? There hasn't really been a lockout yet that has had any consequences. So I have a feeling there are some people, particularly owners, who may be saying, wait a minute, if we can cram in an 82 game season, we haven't even begun to exert any leverage. We still have time. And so that's the thing that concerns me a little bit about, hey, we might not only season, 82 game season. Whoa, wait a minute. I think it's way premature. No
Last
response?
question for you. You, yeah, I mean, I think that's dead on.
Okay,
I don't
cool.
know how to follow that up. I think
Cool.
you've just depressed me beyond
Great. Well, that
response.
makes me feel a lot
Um,
better.
you spent some time around. You spent some time around Ethan in
Yes.
the press box and in the media rooms. And does he just like subtly give jabs throughout the entire game of God, Monte Ellis sure is taking a lot of shots. He's really turning the ball over. Is he just always trying to submarine Monte Ellis' reputation?
No, I'm usually the one throwing the barbs to Ethan. In fact, I probably throw 5 barbs to his one about Curry to Monte Ellis. Ethan Sherwood Strauss has been an interesting figure in the Warriors media world the last year or two. Always enjoy when he comes by. He always, seriously, his questions are, it's interesting because, you got you got 3 guys who have been around the team for 5-10 years, and we've got our way of asking questions, and it's a pretty informal interviewing thing. And, Ethan will come in there and he will ask a very straightforward, journalistic, fair question. And it's interesting. Like when you asked Mark Jackson if he was going church shopping, I found that very amusing.
I want him to take me. It's an automatic feature.
Ethan and I are like the NBA and the Players Union. We're trying to find a middle ground with Curry and Ellis. But, I mean, this one's been going on for over a year. So,
that lockout is never going to end.
No, the one thing I always tell Ethan is like, go ahead.
All right, Matt. Oh, no.
Well, what I always tell Ethan is that I've gotten painted as this anti-Curry guy, and it's just not true. It's more that, I think Monte Ellis has a worth kind of beyond his scoring and beyond, what the numbers say. He's definitely got flaws as a player. I would never build around him in a million years. But I see him as a piece on a very good team as a 3rd or 4th option. Unfortunately,
I feel like you just described the show.
That's more than fair.
I can consent to that.
Yeah, even Ethan will agree that is fair for Monte. Thanks a lot for coming on, man. I hope we can do this again before too long.
I appreciate you having me, and
thanks, Matt.
Sure, anytime.
All right, when the Warriors are 5-18, we'll have you back.
Curry's assist-to-turnover ratio is still 2-1.
Thanks, Matt. And it was nice. You had to muddle it.
That was excellent, man. That dude takes it easy. That is the Big Lebowski of sideline reporters, just lounging.
It's Matt Money Steinmetz. What can I say?
Yeah, that's how he earned that name. That was great, and good insight into the palace intrigue of the Warriors media room with young Strauss asking the tough questions. That's hilarious.
Church shopping.
I think I'm just... I want to do that. I'm dead serious.
No, it'd be very cool. And I know it wouldn't end up on HoopSpeak, but good luck with that.